listening to something right now. Okay, I had to set that up. And then we look at these red rubber stairs. It's a mess. You probably can't see them well. I forgot I had deck 9 mode on. Yeah. I showered and everything, and then I come downstairs because I just ranted for like 20 minutes in the bathroom while the fan was on. Mostly just to myself quietly. I was like, everything's wrong. I was thinking about, okay, crap. I titled this video. Oh, we're so wet. You probably also see my hair dry. It's dried a little bit because it was like 20 minutes. Oh, dang, it's really dry. I forgot how, like, it always dried really fast, even though it's really long. But I forget how fast it dries. Now that it's short, it's like no time at all. Yeah, and my beard's been dry for a while. I don't think I brushed it. Okay, sorry. No. I did brush my teeth. No, this is gonna be, I keep just thinking of, Fat Femme Asian. That was a cute song. No, but that was what I thought of after, Biggie's Beautiful. Mostly, I just looked in the mirror and I was like, guys are attracted to this. Like, I was in on my face. It's passing. Perfect today. We're not gonna look at it and don't find its flaws. We're good. Okay. No, I was just looking at my naked body and I was like, normally that's a mistake, but I was like, it just got me. I was like, from a guy's perspective, I was like, you're attracted to this? What? What is this? I was like, it's just fat. Why are you attracted to that? And then, like, I even had this conversation with, back in the day. I was mostly forced to make straight friends because, and I mostly just kept them because I really actually hated their guts, and they were usually super Christian, homophobic, anti-LGBT, transphobic assholes. But I had to be friends with them. Mostly, I just didn't confess my hatred. I wasn't blunt with them. I was a few minutes later. I was like, but I had to, like, lie. I didn't have to lie, though. Let's be honest. I just didn't have to say my inner feelings. we just didn't explain how much I hated them. Yeah. We just didn't explain the inner hatred that I had for them. It was very deep. It's like, we're not going to talk about that. We're just going to avoid everything. And I figured out also that I hated them after I came out to them, but then I was like, oh my god, we're in the same science class, and I don't have any friends in this class. And it's all, the grades are all group projects. You're going to work with people who hate, but don't know that you hate them, so you can make it through the project without just fighting 24/7? Yeah, good choice. Because otherwise you're just screaming and fighting, and then they might also, like, try and fuck you up and everything, and then, well, like, not really fuck you up, but, like, they'll make you, like, mess up and not be able to study, and, like, mess up the group project so you get a bad grade, and crap like that. There's always those possibilities, and I was like, do you want to pretend to be friends in class? Or do you want to not pass the class? I don't really, yeah. We're going to choose pretend to be the class. Okay, no. But one of his friends, I still contact on Facebook, because I was like, you were not super religious, and you were not conservative, and you weren't transphobic, and you weren't homophobic when it came out to you. You were nice. So we're going to continue talking to you. Well, and then I was also like, I hate him. I told him straight up, and then so I was okay when I paired with him, but but he was also part of that group, so it wasn't always great. He was part of the group with the guy who was really homophobic and everything. Okay, sorry, distracted. But no, I asked him, I was like, why are you attracted to fat? It just doesn't make any sense. I was like, you're attracted to, and then I was like butts and boobs. Why do you like this? And thighs. And then I lost more weight on, like, my butt and thighs and everything, so I was like, I'm a little happy. I was like, I'm okay with this. I just still need to wait for the surgery to remove my chest and everything, and also being like, oh yeah, guys can have butts. They just didn't at my school. That's probably why I didn't find anyone attractive. Yeah. But no, he told me the curve. He told me straight up, he's like, I don't know. And then he thought about it later on, he came back to me, he's like, no, we're attracted to the curve that, like, that the fat makes and everything. We're attracted to the curves of the body. And I'm like, I can accept it at the time, but if I think about it too much, I'm like, no. I'm sorry, no, you're still attracted to fat. It doesn't make any sense. But no, I'm also like, everyone's just attracted to butts. Everyone's just into butts, you know. No matter what you like, you just like butts. That's just how it works. Okay, was also like, I just think D6 makes more sense. Okay, this is way off topic. I'm sorry, you should just totally, like, skip the first couple minutes, you know? Okay, yeah, no, it's mostly just about my body hatred. Okay, let's stop thinking about our body. Now, focus. Okay, now, but I was then thinking about, society and just trash, like, I get, especially in the model industry and everything, like, in society, I was like, I get that you've, like, changed, that you've come so far, but I don't believe it. Like, it's trash. I'm sorry. You're, like, plus-size category, like, plus-size models now. I'm sorry. No, your models, you accepted some models that actually ate food, that are normal, that are healthy, that are not dying, that aren't anorexic, that will not trip and fall and break their neck on the runway. Good job. Oh, and they happen to actually be white and be healthy, and not just black. Okay. Yeah. And it was also, like, I was also thinking about it, and I was like, so I'm putting black guys on a pedestal. I was like, you guys knew before everyone else does, and society's just trying to catch up to you. But they're mostly just lying. It's BS right now. I was like, if you really cared, then you would probably kick out a lot of the... I was like, you would stop accepting really skinny girls. Especially white ones. I was like, the scrawniest ones that are anorexic and that all have eating disorders, and making them have eating disorders that they didn't have before, you just stop. And I was like, you're skinny and you're white. I was like, don't try and become a model. Don't do modeling. No. Do something else with your life, please. Especially since, like, I'm sorry, it's a horrible industry anyway, because, like, you hear about all the stories and everyone takes advantage of you and all that crap because you're like, you'll do anything to get famous and crap like that. But not even to the side of that. I just, like, I know it's racist to, like, if you say it about any other race, but it's not when it comes to white people. And, like, okay, it's just that, because you can't say, like, all Asians look the same, and you know it's not true, and you look at, like, all black people, and you're like, you don't look all the same. And you look at Asian people, you're like, you're not all the same. But you look at white people, and you're like, yeah, you are all the same. And, like, it was hard, so hard growing up as a little kid and everything. Because I would get lost all the time. I was always being left behind. All my siblings were left behind at, like, gas stations and random crap. I was left behind at, like, a zoo, and then they found me, and I didn't remember that, them losing me. I just stared at, like, a video of the elephant for, like, 20 or 30 minutes, so they were fine, they caught me. I was just spacing out as normal. So I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't notice they lost me. And then another time, I just remembered, going to a magic show, and then I was abandoned, and then a policeman came to me and gave me a toy. And then I lost it later, but yeah. Yeah, he gave me a toy to make me stop crying. Yeah, that was the story. Yeah. And then I would get lost at, like, and we would be at Walmart or wherever. I would go with my dad at Home Depot and all that crap. And I would just be wandering around, and I'd be like, I can't find my dad. And then you, like, so for little kids, the real problem, the white kids' problem and little kids' problem, isn't with learning any crap, like, new information. Like, that's fine, that's easy. It's just another thing to learn. Yeah, no. Like, kids aren't, like, racist. They're just like, oh, you're different, cool. Like, that's it. They're not homophobic and they're not transphobic. They're like, what is this? That's all, like, taught to them to be that way. That's the only way people's against it. And, like, none of that's the problem. The issue is that we can't find our parents. Because all white people look the same. So, you go up to a random stranger and you tug on their skirt or their shirt or the pants or whatever. And you're like, hey, Mom, Dad, hello? And then they're not your parent, and then you just start crying. And then they have to call over the intercom and everything, and they're trying to find your parents all the time. That's why, like, we have Home Alone in all these movies, and, like, it repeats, because you're like, oh, it's a big family, you grew up in a big family house. Like, you see it all the time in these movies and everything, and there's always these Amber Alerts and everything. So a lot of it is just kids, like, they just get lost. The parents keep losing their kids. And then I was thinking back, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's why they have that little leash of the kids. I get it now. Because you're like, when you first see it, especially with my parents and everything, you're like, oh, that's a bad thing, that's abuse or whatever. It was one of their conspiracy nonsense crap, you know? But that's not the case whatsoever. I was like, no, and I got it, and it made perfect sense, and I was totally okay with it, because especially since before, I'd, like, only seen it, like, in a harness and the leash on it, and I was like, that looks way too close to a collar to me. I was like, isn't that what you walk your pet in? Especially since later on, I got, like, a little, and you would see dogs in, like, a little harness, and then you have the little leash attached to that, so, and then we even got a ferret, and that was the situation, because, and then the ferret is slippery, so it gets out of it and runs away and everything. And can get out of a collar too, so you can't really, and I hope it's the harness, but yeah. But no, it was in Modern Family. They had the little, it had little, like, the extra straps in the front, but it's just a backpack with a leash on the back. And then she was also just running around crazy and everything, so you're like, I get it. And I was like, you wouldn't have lost me if you put that on me, and I would have been fine with that. I was like, cool, backpack, you know? I don't care. And for most of it, most of the time they just lost me, because I would just stop and stare at something randomly. Or I would space out, and they were gone, and I was like, where do you go? And they just kept walking. It just happened, like, every time. Yeah, no. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, no. Back to Big is Beautiful and everything, but yeah, no, like, I think, like, I just don't think black guys are getting enough, like, support and everything. Mostly just, like, there's not enough recognition. I was like, you guys figured this out from the beginning. You were like, yeah, Big is Beautiful. Duh. Like, it just makes sense. And then, with society is finally catching up with you, and I was like, this is so BS. So BS. Why do we have standards? And, like, I was thinking about it more and more, and I was like, the only real reason, like, I was so involved and invested in the horrible eating show and everything was because they would show all these women, and they didn't have boobs, they didn't have butt, and they didn't have thighs, and they complained about it, and I was like, no, that's my goal, that's all I want. And I was like, oh, I can do that if I'm super skinny, if I don't eat. So that became my goal and everything, and I was inspired by that. But no, and if you think about it, you're like, wait, who doesn't have chest, thighs, and a butt? Men. I was like, so in reality, all they wanted for models was men, and I was like, you already have male models. And then, like, they started having male models dress more androgynous and wear dresses and skirts long before you saw celebrities on the show, and people flipped out on TV and everything, on the rewards and everything. When, like, I don't know, when Harry Styles, everyone freaked out because he wore a dress and everything. I was like, way before that, men have been wearing dresses as models all the time. And way before that, men were wearing dresses, and, like, in the first place, like, back in the day, I was like, and you think about the presidents, I was like, they wear what? A robe, which is a dress. I'm sorry. And they wear a wig, and they wear makeup. What the hell? And they also usually had, like, a big, thicker heel on just men's shoes and everything. So it just doesn't make any sense. Okay, no, sorry, that's a different topic. No, but yeah, so, and I was like, I really don't get it. Why then just let, like, fashion missed the whole opportunity with drag queens and everything. I was like, that's what you wanted. And, like, and transgender, trans women and everything. That's what you wanted. That was the goal. And that's what you were trying to teach kids and everything, to look like that. Just unrealistic, hyper female, it's just super unrealistic. And now we're also being like, oh, they had what? And you like, how much do you actually pay these people? They have makeup crews, they have makeup artists, they have their editors, they have all of their you have no idea how much editing, you know? It's like, I swear, if you really think about it, I was like, they could goddamn look like me. And then they worked with that, with just editing and everything. And just the cameramen worked with it. And then they just got rid of all their flaws. And they made them look super feminine and everything. So, and then they also do that with makeup and everything. And you're seeing more and more, like, normal kids and everything. They were like, oh, if I have, like, real good talent and everything, and I practiced a lot, then I can change my face completely. And I can look like whatever the hell I want to. You know? And I was like, so you have makeup, and you have editing, massive editing, and you have lighting, and you have outfits, and you have hairstylists, you have all this crap, and we're supposed to, because, like, I'm sorry, they could look like anything, and then they turn them into an angel and put them on the screen, and you're supposed to look like that. Yeah, it was trash. And then they're, like, some actual plus-size women who are a little bit bigger, and I was like, that's still normal, healthy, and I was like, you're still not on the plus-sized way yet. I'm sorry. I'm just like, normal, healthy women. That was supposed to be your starting point. not your ending point. Not where we are now. that wasn't the point. Yeah. No, but I was like, no. They really just, yeah, no. It didn't make any sense. And plus, I'm like, I'm sorry. But in the real world, when women look like that, yeah, I'm sorry. No matter what, even if, like, you're models and everything, especially if you're models, that just meant that your guy was cheating on you with the other models, your model friends. And, also, if, like, you had, like, super skinny, whoever the hell you're sleeping with, you were also, especially if you're white, you're finding someone bigger on the side. You're like, I need some ass and all this shit, you know? So it's absolute trash. Everyone was just lying. They were like, we want you to have eating disorders and be anorexic forever. When men didn't want that, I was like, plus-size women, bigger women, and people who were, like, overweight and don't care, and, like, who are obese and everything, I was like, they were doing perfectly fine, and they were getting all the men because they were selling out this trash, and the girls were trying to be super skinny all the goddamn time. So the people who were healthy and plus-size and bigger, they got all the men. And they were like, you didn't get the men because you're not skinny enough. No, the woman who ate got all the men because you were dying. Because they know, they look at you and they're like, you can't support a baby, you can't even support your own life. If I touch you, you're a twig, you will fall over and die. I want someone who's sturdy and who will not die. And who maybe I could build a family with, who could actually support a kid, you know, in their goddamn body. Who actually have, like, a stomach. So you're like, oh, that's where the baby goes. There's room for there. You're like, oh, a baby could go in that woman. Because, I'm sorry, like, I was like, if you were skinny and all this, especially, you can't, your body is barely surviving, and it can't support your own life. You definitely can't have a kid. Especially, I was like, the real cause of, like, all the infertility and all that crap back in the day and everything, and, like, the women were always like, I can't have babies and everything, and I was like, a lot of it, the doctor should have just looked at your weight. I was like, a lot of it is probably your weight. I was like, I just take one glance at you, and I know you're way too skinny to support anything. Like, I don't know how you're alive. Like, you do not eat, I swear. And I get, like, some people are just naturally that way, and then everyone else is just jealous of that. But they do actually eat normally and healthy, and I was like, that's good, that's fine, we can support that. But no, the lifestyle is just trash. But we didn't do that as society. And then I was like, society, finally catch up, hurry up, they're running. And there was, like, someone who was, like, thinner. Like, she was thin. And then also, for me, like, I also really don't get it. Because I'm like, all women look the same to me. I'm sorry. But you should 100% take a compliment. Because I was like, that means all of you look the same as supermodels on the magazines. You're the same. There is zero difference. Zero. Like, there's just no difference. Okay. But yeah. No, I wasn't that long ago. I think maybe just a few days ago. Yeah, I watched this, like, clip and everything. It's advertisement. So they were, like, doing a model. They were trying to recruit young new models and everything. And I don't think I don't think any white people should apply. I was like, unless you actually are plus size or, like, bigger girl, then I was like, yes, there is room for you to kick out the little ones who need to eat food. Kick them out so they go eat food now. Oh, I just remembered about that. The popular girl's secret about eating ice and not eating any food. Yeah. She tried to kick her out so she goes home and eats food. Okay. Sorry, they all need help. They need medical attention. Yeah. So yeah, that's not healthy at all. But there's plenty of room if you're, like, plus size and everything. But you're a lot, like, skinnier and everything. Like, no, because then there are, like, 50 of you. especially if you watch, I watched, like, all of the American Idol. I was, like, addicted to everything. Oh, mostly because I just watched the one with the guy in it. Oh, yeah. I mostly just, I only really remember, I've only focused on the one where they had guys and girls, and I was like, a guy almost won, you know. They had guys and girls models for the next top American model, whatever that crap, you know. Yeah, but, like, there were just so many white girls, and I was like, they all look the same, and, like, even when they went to tryouts where you really learned the truth, they were like, yeah. and you know, there's just another white girl that can replace you. Yeah, which means you could be more desperate, and then you probably do. And then you could be taken advantage of way easier, just because you're trying to keep popular and everything. I was like, no. You're replaced like that, and less than that. You're just kicked out and replaced with another white girl. I'm sorry. It's just how it works. Yeah. So definitely go for a different career. But yeah. She was obviously not white. And she was healthy. Healthy young girl who was not white. She was like Dominican or something. I'm not saying that right. I don't know. All I know is she's not white. And they were like, you're not right. Yeah. She's not even half white. She's 100% not white. And I was like, yep, this is why you were chosen. Because they were like, we're trying to include the minorities, make sure it's a different race, different ethnicity, and all this crap. They're like, trying to pretend they're not racist. And I was like, you're an Indian. Yeah. And I was like, and of course when you're little, you're like, oh, not white people don't look the same and everything, because you're taught that. But then you look online and you're like, oh, you have different skin tones? Because you never saw that. You never ever saw that ever. There, just never saw them. Yeah. And like, the whole idea is when I occasionally have the thought of being like, oh, like all Asians look the same. I was like, no, like that's just like a small group or whatever. And I was like, that's just because there's only like so many body types and facial shapes that you can have as combinations. And if you scroll, if you get really addicted and just be like, I want to find out all the options, then you're like, yeah, if you're just like, yeah. Mostly I was just like going through all like the K-pop artists, and I was like, kind of looks like almost all the same. Just scrolling, and you're like, yeah, because they're all tall, skinny, athletic men who have like toned bodies and everything, and they're pretty usually the similar height and similar build, because that's what they're into and that's what they want for K-pop. So yeah, they all look the same when you keep scrolling, because they chose the same body type. They're like, yeah, you need to look like this, checking the boxes. Yeah. They should add more diversity even for like the men groups, because they're like trying to get on that page for the women groups, but they're still not there yet. It's mostly just really skinny, lighter skin girls and everything like that. And you're like, no, not the goal. Yeah, no. Plus size is bigger is better. Yes. And a lot of guys have known that, and I was like, that's the real type. Guys have always known this. Society is just trying to get on the same page. Because the guys were like, yeah, bigger is better, duh. And then they like, I don't feel like, I was like, why guys didn't promote it at all? They're like, oh, we want you to look like a model. But, so they'll date you, and they marry you to show you off. So, that's a real trophy wife. You don't touch her, you just look at her. Exactly. You're having a bunch of affairs. I was like, no wonder all these men were having affairs. You see the women they were dating that they married? Yeah, they can't survive on their own. Like, I don't know. They clearly have eating disorders. I'm sorry. They need to eat some food. They're all just starving. They're clearly getting it somewhere else. I'm sorry. So eat food and do not aim for a model unless you're like actually plus size and everything. And, like, if they say something, you're like, oh, I'm a bigger girl and everything, and if they try and replace you with a skinnier girl, cause a riot or something, like, just fight everyone. Just argue with everyone. Just be like, no, this is BS. You say you're supporting, you're like, oh, different body types. No, you're still same standards, same trash you've been always saying, same lies you're trying to teach everybody, but you're like, oh, add a few bigger girls here and here, solves this problem. No, trash. Absolute trash. Yeah, no. I wasn't really that influenced, so I can say a lot of this and not be, like, triggered or anything. Yeah. I really wasn't. I was more of, like, I was only really, like, influenced by it because I was like, guys can only have short hair, girls can only have long hair, and I was like, I kind of get it when you're little, just try to tell people apart, and it's mostly just haircuts to being like, and then I was like, even if you look at little kids, you're like, they all look the same. So, like, add a ribbon to the kid's hair or something. Or, like, a special, like, colored bracelet or something, so you can tell your kid apart when they're playing at the playground and everything. So many white kids look the same. And so many white parents look the same. Sorry. We just look all the same. And the whole cracker thing, I was like, yes. Oh, and also I remembered, the whole cracker thing, I was like, no, racist, you can't say anything. You can't be racist towards white people. Because we tried to enforce the take over the world and be like, white is superior. Yeah. That is all trash. They tried to say that. Please do not take that out of context. No, I'm not promoting that whatsoever. No, say no to white power. That's all trash. And that's why we all have diseases and we're all dying. That's why so many white people have cancer. Because your immune system's fucked from all your ancestors' incest. Have fun with that. Yeah, I don't know why any of us are, like, still alive. There should be a whole lot less white people. And the world, especially in America. Well, like, I understand a little bit from America, but, like half of the white people should be mixed. I'm sorry, you need to be like this, because I don't know how you're living, because we all had super racist ancestors. So, that usually meant a lot of incest. Yeah, it was trash. And, like, I don't know when they put that, oh, you can't marry your own siblings, you have to wait, like, maybe, like, second cousin or whatever. Yeah, I was like, that took them way too long to put that law in place, so I don't know how any of us have. Oh, yeah, I remember. Because they had to make all these advancements and, like, basically cure cancer. And all these hospitals and everything, they had to make these because we were dying, and all of us were sick and in the hospital, and the new generations were all just dying, and always had these rare diseases, and all these disabilities, and all these problems, because of our racist ancestors. Yeah, but I was like, there's only also, yeah, no, I'm just mostly blaming my ancestors for a lot of shit, but yeah. Yeah. I don't remember why people are trash. Oh, yeah, cracker thingy. Yeah. Oh, because, like, even for white people, I'm, like, super white, and I look like I'm dead, and I'm sick, and I'm ill, and I'm on my deathbed 24/7, and I get that. And, like, my teachers and everyone was, like, super worried when I was little, and I didn't understand it. No, it's just because you're so goddamn white. And then I was like, I remember now, and I was like, just... And then also, whenever I if you look at any old white people, they look like they're dead. And I know because I had to go to these goddamn funerals because everyone was dying all the time. So, like, I saw dead people all the time, so I knew what death white looked like. I saw it all the time. So, because they almost always had open caskets. So, I just had to look and, like, say goodbye and all this crap. And you always had to walk by and everything. Because they're always, like, your uncles and crap that you never met. Your uncles, your grandparents, all this crap, you know? And, like, and then also we had to keep visiting, like, old grandparents and everything, and I was like, you look like death. You already look like you're dead. All of you look completely like you're dead. I'm sorry, all of them. Like, some of them were, like, obviously more vital and everything, but all of mine looked like they were dead, and they were all dying, and they were all about to die. That's why we always went to visit them, but for some reason, they just keep holding on and clinging to life, and I was like, I don't know why you're clinging on to life. You're, like, your husband and your partners, like, they died forever ago, so you're not waiting for your partner or anyone. You're just holding on to nothing, and, like, even, like, my grandma forgot everything and everything, you know? My step-grandma, so hopefully amnesia is not in the... Oh, wait. I just remembered. Mom's side. So, if we don't have amnesia inherited on mom's side, and dementia, then we have it on mom's. Great. And then also, I also know I'm really fucked up with genetics, because I have the same ancestry on both sides of the family. And they literally, I was like, you just traveled to a few different states to find each other, and my dad married the next generation. And if my dad was a little bit older, they would be 2 generations apart. And my mom was a little bit younger, and my dad was a little older, 3 generations apart. And then my mom gave birth to 2 generations. So all the millennials, and then at the end, got me and maybe 2 of my other siblings, who are the very beginning of Gen Z. Yeah. There are 9 siblings. So yeah. Okay, no, but on my dad's side, you got what? A little bit Irish. You have German. You have British. European. Yep, that's it. It's the same on my mom's side. Great. Yeah, you're like, no wonder we have mental problems on both sides. Apparently, my first, and I just figured out, I was like, I probably had like 2 step-grandmas, but I never met the second one because she died before I was born, and then he like remarried or something, I don't know. Yeah, but, no, but like my first one, yeah, so when I went to family reunions, which is, we learned about all the family trauma. You're like, oh, my dad was always an asshole to you, his sister, and his siblings, yeah, and now that he's dead, we can talk about it freely. And you're like, oh, we're learning about all the mental problems on your side, too. Yeah, your mom was bipolar and committed suicide, yep, and was in a mental hospital for a while, too. So, yeah, that's great to know. Yeah. Because I had a theory about this, about, like, having 2 step-grandmas, but it might have been 1. Because it sounded like she died when she was pretty, when they were still pretty young. They're probably late teens, I guess, by then, because then I thought about it, I was like, oh, she was in the mental hospital a lot. She was talking about having to raise her younger siblings and everything, and had to take care of most of the kids and around the house and everything. And she's like, I shouldn't have had to do that. That was messed up. Like, Dad and everyone should have fucking helped. But I had to take care of everything. And she was still pretty young when she had to take on all that responsibility. But I was like, oh yeah, she was in the mental hospital for a while, so I guess that delayed her death a little bit. So maybe, like, but it sounded like she died right before they became adults and everything, so yeah. And then, who knows what else, like, they were hiding on that side of the family. Because that was, like, she only knew about her mom, so who knows? Who knows what they were hiding on my dad's, on the grandparents' side and everything. And then, I know I have a retarded uncle who's probably dead by now. Just too old. Yeah. No idea. So, I just don't know. And then all the shit we inherited from mom's side and dad's side, and then I know 100% my mom's autistic. I'm sorry, no way she's not. Especially since brother, like, I'm pretty sure also one of them has schizophrenia, and also I'm pretty sure he's also autistic, so that's fun. And then one's just, what is it? Like, what is it? Like, super light autistic? Mostly high-functioning autistic or whatever. Yeah. No, but yeah, my family is just fucking fucked. Just great. Yeah, no. But yeah, White and Cracker and all that, yeah. all accurate. But yeah, they were also, yeah, especially my grandparents. They looked like they were dead, and that's literally why we would go and visit them so often. But they just kept clinging on to life, and they kept literally like dying, and then being resurrected and everything. Yeah. And then, oh yeah, my mom's dad, so my grandpa on my mom's side, he had like all the cancers. I was like, yeah, I just assumed he had it all. I'm sorry. I was like, I'm pretty sure he had like brain cancer and lung cancer. Like, we don't know. It's like, he had all the meds in the world also. Yeah, no. So we'd go and visit him all the goddamn time, and he just clung to life. It's like, I don't know why. I was like, maybe, in his case, like, maybe, because I was like, maybe he was waiting on his wife to come join him. But I think she was a little bit younger, but yeah. No, this is gonna be a different video, but whatever. The thing I forgot before was, because I was like, I knew it definitely wasn't the case, because, like, my grandpa on my dad's side, he died when he was, like, 60, I don't think, he didn't even make it to 70, and so, or he was, like, maybe 56 or something. He died when I was, like, maybe 8, I think I was 8, when he died, yeah. But, my dad was like, he died when he was young, and I'm like, no, you people are crazy, this is old. I was like, yeah, young compared to the random relatives that we keep visiting because it's their 100th birthday, and we're like, you're gonna die, but they're like, not dead yet. We're like, okay, we're going to another birthday. Yeah. For that, he was young, but otherwise, no. He wasn't young. And you weren't really young when you died either. But yeah, and then I was also thinking about, I was like, when I saw a video and I got my revenge because I didn't say that I loved my father, I didn't lie. I got revenge because I didn't lie, and my last words to my father wasn't anything. I didn't lie when all my siblings did. When they all said, oh, I love you, and all this crap. I threw a video to him when he was dying in the hospital. I didn't lie. I said I didn't lie because he couldn't hit me anymore. I only ever said I love you because they hit me. So, it was great. Love that, you know. They hugged you and kissed you on the cheek for a good night. And then they said I love you because when I didn't, you hit me. So, and I rejected a hug. You hit me again. So, just be silent. Don't say anything. Not in agreement. Leave as fast as possible. Okay. Now, so no, my thing about my step grandma. So yeah. Oh, and apparently it was also her second marriage. So yeah. So I was like, she wasn't waiting for anyone. I was like, both of her husbands died, and she also lost all of her memories. And then she made a new boyfriend in the nursing home. And she was together with him. And it was cute. And I was like, also like, my mom was kind of suspicious about it. I felt like I was like, my dad was kind of racist, and I don't know about you. You just usually nod in agreement about what he says and everything, so I don't know. And you were also like, yeah. We just learned that she wasn't racist because her boyfriend was black. She found, I bet she was the only black guy in the nursing home, yep. I bet, yeah, I was like, I never saw any other black guy in the entire nursing home. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, there's just very, very few people of any ethnicity other than white, especially in Indiana. I was like, I don't know why you're moving into Indiana. Don't move here. It's just a white town. It makes zero sense. Yeah, no. It's just a shitty place to live. Okay, no, complaining about shit where I live, no, but yeah. I think I was mostly just surprised, because I was like, I never saw you before. You were probably just in your new room when I visited before. I think I just saw them, like, hold hands, like, once or whatever. They were cute. I was like, cute old couple. So, yeah. But I was like, she was together with him. And then I was like, so she wasn't even, like, waiting for the new... wasn't even waiting to, like, get into and find a new lover and get into a new relationship or anything like that. Because, like, she died, like, months later. Like, I'm sorry. I think she lasted, like, a whole nother year. After, like, the doctors were like, yeah, she's dead. She's the walking dead person. Like, she's gonna drop any second. So every Sunday we visit her, and she didn't die. So I just quit going. I was like, this is pointless. There's no point. I was like, I did this with the other grandparents before. We kept visiting, like, every year, and it just kept holding on. And I was like, this is pointless. I don't understand. Just, you know. And they look like death. They're super skinny. They don't have any weight on their body. They can't even walk. Yeah, she'd be pushed around by a wheelchair and everything. They can't move. Or they can barely move, but for the most part, they just can't move. Yeah. My grandpa, he had, like, all the cancers and everything. He just sat in a chair. I swear he lived in that chair, because he never moved once. I don't think he moved his hands. maybe he ever spoke, maybe once, ever. But, like, yeah, no, he was, no. He just lived in his chair, and that's it. He had, like, a walker or something somewhere. Well, like, for the most part, he couldn't really walk or anything like that. So, yeah, no. They were just dead. And then, yeah, like, the teachers were always super worried and everything because he looked like death. But I was like, I'm sorry, just my natural skin tone. That was, like, the only real difference was, like, how skinny they got. There was, like, they kept losing weight and they couldn't gain any of it back. And they were completely just skin and bones, like the models. They finally matched the models. Yep. That's exactly how they looked. Just skin and bones. Yeah. It's the only reason. I was like, her skin tone didn't really change. And then for my dad, I was like, looked a little bit paler, but then I was also like, you were always that pale. And then I was like, oh, wait. Didn't notice. Because you're almost always a little bit sunburned, especially in your face. Because you're always outside. So I was like, oh, yeah, no, it wasn't much of a change. It's like, we get the tiniest bit wider, but there's almost no difference. You mostly just tell because you lose all the weight and you just become completely skin and bones. And then, the real thing is that we get red in our face super easily and almost all the time. Whenever we get angry, set, happy, cry, or like even run or move anything, move at all, any movement of the body, bright red face all the goddamn time. And then we get sunburned all the time. So yeah, then we'll have a lot of pink and a lot of red on our face. But other than that, we are completely dead. So if the sun is not out, yeah, we don't have any skin. We don't have any melatonin in our body whatsoever, I swear. Yeah. And I grew up in this family and everything, and I was like, what is this? And then one of my friends, like, actually tanned a little bit in the summer, and I was like, oh my god, color. What is this? Is this an option? You can tan and not burn? What is this? You know? Because that was an option, especially since all my siblings would go out and, like, lay and bathe in the sun for a while, because they would be like, let's get tan, and then they would come back burned, and you're like, yep, we get tan. I think this is a mistake. Yeah. Yeah, no. Not even tan a little bit. It was just a mess. Yeah. I think my brother might be able to get a little bit of a tan, just on his arms. Just a tiny bit. Just tiny bit, like a tint darker. That's it. Doesn't really even look like a tan, though. But, it looks a little bit like it, mostly just because of his brown hair on his arms. So that just helps make it look darker. So you're like, the skin darkened the tiniest bit. Like, just barely darkened. And then he has a bunch of brown hair, so it blends it out and it makes it look darker. Yeah. Okay. Keep it just randomly. My family's so fucked. I'm sorry, you were just not supposed to have children. It didn't make any sense. Yeah, sorry, I was complaining to my friends about this earlier, before online. Okay, we're definitely gonna have to edit this. Okay, so I'll probably just add this being beautiful plus complaints. That sounds very accurate. I'm just complaining about shit. Yeah, no. But yeah, no, also, like, Also, in the cracker comment, I was like perfectly valid, and people were like, "Oh my god, that's like racist towards white people," and I was like, "No, that's impossible." And also, it's just accurate and it makes sense, especially since like I was like, look at like everyone compares like black people to like chocolate and like dark chocolate. Are you like white chocolate? Are you dark chocolate? Are you milk chocolate? Like different shades of chocolate? Are you like brownie? Are you like fudge? Yeah. Like I was like, that's nice food. I was like, we're stale and boring like our food, so it makes perfect sense that we're a cracker. Have we not seen saltines? Why are we addicted to saltines? Why do we eat them all the goddamn time? See? We eat crackers all the goddamn time. You can call us a cracker, it's fine. I was like, other white people should just call other white people crackers. I was like, yes, you are a cracker. Get over it. Oh, you have a slight tan, slightly darker? Okay, you are, oh, those weird, healthier crackers that I just ate. Those weird wheat ones that are like, they're just darker. They're like a tan. They're like almost brown, but not really. Yeah. You're like, white people could be like white chocolate? No, no. There's gotta be black in there to make it the white chocolate. Oh, I'm thinking about specifically white chocolate, not those little kisses and everything. I was like, if this those the pure ones, they pour in. Oh, or the caramel ones. There's all the caramel ones. But no, we're not caramel. White people aren't caramel ones. No, but the pure white ones, yeah. But not like white chocolate, because almost all of the white chocolate is just cookies and cream. So, and I was like, you have to have black or something or brown in there. Do white chocolate, but yeah, no. White people are awful, and we know that. And my ancestors are racist, and my parents probably are too. My dad especially once, and then, oh, I had a comment. It's a different video.